Life is long if you know how to use it. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. No man was ever wise by chance. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. He who is brave is free. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. The mind that is anxious about the future is miserable. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. The whole point of life is to learn how to live. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. He who learns must suffer. The worst enemy you can meet will always be yourself. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is, or is not, in my control? Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. The first step toward wisdom is to call things by their right names. The whole art of living is to avoid unnecessary pain and to obtain as much pleasure as possible. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. Enjoy present pleasures in such a way as not to injure future ones. Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. But when it is wasted in heedless luxury and spent on no good activity, we are forced at last by death's final constraint to realize that it has passed away before we knew it was passing. So it is, we are not given a short life but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied but wasteful of it. Life is long if you know how to use it. Were all the geniuses of history to focus on this single theme, they could never fully express their bafflement at the darkness of the human mind. No person would give up even an inch of their estate, and the slightest dispute with a neighbor can mean hell to pay, yet we easily let others encroach on our lives. Worse, we often pave the way for those who will take it over. No person hands out their money to passers-by, but to how many do each of us hand out our lives? We're tight-fisted with property and money, yet think too little of wasting time, the one thing about which we should all be the toughest misers. The sun also shines on the wicked. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Leisure without books is death, and burial of a man alive. Often a very old man has no other proof of his long life than his age. A sword never kills anybody, it is a tool in the killer's hand. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. It is not the man who has too little that is poor, but the one who hankers after more. We learn not in the school, but in life. There is no genius without a touch of madness. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what lies in fortune's control, and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. But life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Errare humanum est, sed perseverare diabolicum. To err is human, but to persist in the mistake is diabolical. Withdraw into yourself, as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. I am not born for one corner, the whole world is my native land. You live as if you were destined to live forever, no thought of your frailty ever enters your head, of how much time has already gone by you take no heed. You squander time as if you drew from a full and abundant supply, though all the while that day which you bestow on some person or thing is perhaps your last. You are lonely not because no one needs you but because you care about who is next to you. For what prevents us from saying that the happy life is to have a mind that is free, lofty, fearless and steadfast, a mind that is placed beyond the reach of fear, beyond the reach of desire, that counts virtue the only good, baseness the only evil, and all else but a worthless mass of things, which come and go without increasing or diminishing the highest good, and neither subtract any part from the happy life nor add any part to it. A man thus grounded must, whether he wills or not, necessarily be attended by constant cheerfulness and a joy that is deep and issues from deep within, since he finds delight in his own resources, and desires no joys greater than his inner joys. You live as if you were destined to live forever, no thought of your frailty ever enters your head, of how much time has already gone by you take no heed. You squander time as if you drew from a full and abundant supply, though all the while that day which you bestow on some person or thing is perhaps your last. Limiting one's desires actually helps to cure one of fear. Cease to hope, and you will cease to fear. Widely different, as fear and hope are, the two of them march in unison like a prisoner and the escort he is handcuffed to. Fear keeps pace with hope, both belong to a mind in suspense, to a mind in a state of anxiety through looking into the future. Both are mainly due to projecting our thoughts far ahead of us instead of adapting ourselves to the present. Nothing is burdensome if taken lightly, and nothing need arouse one's irritation so long as one doesn't make it bigger than it is by getting irritated. If anyone says that the best life of all is to sail the sea, and then adds that I must not sail upon a sea where shipwrecks are a common occurrence and there are often sudden storms that sweep the helmsman in an adverse direction, I conclude that this man, although he lauds navigation, really forbids me to launch my ship. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable.